Good evening, fellow Tcash merchants, and welcome to our Tcash Soko online training session today. My name is Amos, and I'll be your trainer today under the session and more with Pay Later. So, this session comes after a number of sessions that we have done on the Tcash Soko platform. So we have done so many sessions in the course of the week. Of course, 3 sessions every day. And these sessions are already posted on YouTube. In case you have not had an opportunity to watch any of the sessions, kindly feel free to go to YouTube and watch these sessions. Why? You'll stand a chance to benefit from the unpackaging of the great advantages of the Tcash Soko platform that we have made together in the course of the week. So let us journey together and understand how you as a Tcash merchant can get to earn more with Pay Later. So I'm sharing my app with you. On my app, I'm on the personal side of the app. On this personal side, there are a number of things that I just want us to understand. So kwa hii side ya personal, of course, inastatingi pale juu na the word hello Amos, there is the Tcash balance, there is the amount you have spent today. So every expenditure itakuwa inajionyesha hapo on the amount spent today. And of course, you have the Rotary tickets, the upcoming bookings. Hapo chini uko na story ya general or orders. You have the refer and earn, book services, contact, and of course, help and settings. Hapa chini kabisa iko na the following options: shop, scan, wallet, transfer. Of interest to me, hata si hizo vitu ziko hapo chini, ni ile amount spent today. When you touch the amount spent today, of course, inanionyesha my spending insights. So this is what I want you to understand. The app gets to learn about a customer's spending habit and spending insights. So the customer can be able to track the spending patterns. And of course, akiguza, for example, the spending patterns, atakuwa naona the spending summary for the month, the products amenunua sana, the services, the kind of transfers amefanya, the kind of shopping amefanya, whether online or in store. And of course, there is also the category breakdown. Of course, anaweza ona the kind of categories zenye amekuwa akinunua from. And definitely, we'll be able to see the top merchants amekuwa akinunua the product from in the course of that month. And finally, they'll also have the option of the monthly budget. So they can just set a monthly budget for themselves and say that I want to spend 75,000 and they save. And of course, be able to view this information over time. Why am I bringing all this information to you? I'm bringing all this information to you as a merchant because you need to understand what the platform is bringing to your business. Hii platform inakuja kwa biashara yako kukusaidia wewe kama merchant kujua some information that you couldn't have known about your customers. So with this information now known by the app is able to advise you on whether you can offer credit to this person or not. Based on what? Based on their credit score. So allow me now to show you where the credit score of each and every customer will be, and also your credit score as a business person. So itakuanga hapa kwa personal. Ukienda pale kwa, there is the icon at the top left hand side that has my profile picture. I sometimes refer to it as the profile picture icon. So once you touch that icon, it brings the profile picture, my name, the option of switching to business profile, the code. Hii code tulisema ndio kama bank account yako ya Tcash, ni kama the wallet. It's the wallet actually that is holding your money. Then there is the KYC, which we can see is complete. I have the option of seeing the credit score, and that is the option that I want us to go to, the credit score option. When you touch the credit score option, unaona that this person, Amos, has been active since February 2026. And of course, you can be able to see the credit score, what the credit score is all about. So the credit score is what affects the ability to pay later and access future credits with good interest rates. So what does that mean? There is something yenye app inatuletea inajiita pay later. So pay later, allow me to just talk about it now. It is not a new thing that is being brought to our businesses. No, it's not a new thing altogether. Pay later is something that we have been doing. Tumekuwa tukipeana pay later, only that hatujakuwa tukijua, maybe hatujakuwa tukipea the word pay later. So tumekuwa tukipeana items on debts sometimes. There is a friend of yours mwenye amekuja kwa shop yako anataka a certain product. So nakwambia, I wanted to get, for example, my hair done, but I don't have money now. So nikipata salary, nitakulipa. So you just make my hair, but I don't have money now, nitakulipa baadaye. That is what pay later is all about. It's all about giving services and products to people without cash money at that instance so that they can pay you later. So hii credit score ya customer atakuwa inaitengeneza through spending. So as we have seen, when we went to the spend today and touched the spend today, ilitupeleka kwa spending insights. Ikatuonyesha how the customer has been spending. So it has all the information about how the customer has been spending. So how the customer has been spending is what the app uses. Because remember, one of the advantages of this platform is the fact that it is AI enabled. So the platform being AI enabled, the AI is able to like make decisions. You know, artificial intelligence is actually the future of technology. It is able to make decisions and, of course, tell you that this customer is creditworthy based on how they spend. The banks also use such a modality kupea watu loans. Those of us who have tried to access loans from banks, you know that the bank will look at your transactions. Wataangalia how you have been transacting for them to decide whether they can give you a loan or not. So, of course, that is what the credit score is all about. So there are different credit levels. And of course, these credit levels will affect the ability of a customer to access pay later. So one of the most interesting thing about the app ni hii. The fact that wewe umekuwa ukijudge mtu based on maybe kumwangalia how many times amekuja kwa shop yako, based on akikuja kwa shop yako ananunua products za how much, but you have not had information about their spending on other shops and other categories. So the app has an upper hand than you. Yani decisions za app ziko better than yours because app inaweza ona expenditure huyo mtu ama yeye inaweza ona expenditure huyo mtu way before what you can be able to see. And because it is able to do that, inaweza kuadvise utapea huyo mtu credit ama utampea. So one of the things I would want you to note is that a person can also be blocked from using pay later. Na atakiblokiwa hawezi access pay later, not just from your shop, but from all the shops. So this is what I want you to understand. There are different credit levels. Kuna new. When a person just downloads the app, anajipata kwa new credit score. Huyo mtu ni mgeni. The AI and the app has no history or data about the spending habits of the person, and therefore hawezi pewa credit na app. Then tunaenda kwa low. As the person spends, anatoka kwa new anaenda kwa low. Then there is the fair. Anaenda kwa fair once ameendelea kuspend. When you get to fair now, it means unaweza pewa pay later. However, unachajiwa bigger interest. Then there is other credit scores such as good, great, and elite zenye sasa ni nzuri. And of course, the interest rates zinapungua. I hope we are together there. So now, allow me to mention this, that you as a merchant, you as the business owner, ndio utakuwa unapeana pay later. Huyu mtu atakuwa anakuja anajaribu kununua kitu but they have zero balance. So once they have zero balance and they want to buy the product from you, then there will be that option of allowing them to pay on pay later basis, meaning atakulipa baadaye. This will be dependent on the customers will be given the pay later options are the ones who have, of course, transacted on the app and the app has information about them. So ukipeana items on pay later, wewe utakuwa unaziona wapi? So let me switch from the personal side to the business side. I'll just switch to maybe the Aura Baba and Salon shop that I own. Of course, switching between the personal and the business side takes just a few seconds. Definitely, not even a few seconds, just a second or something. Of course, kwa hii business side, inanionyesha a number of things, starting with the Tcash balance, the Rotary tickets, the performance today, which is not very good, the number of transactions, and the upcoming bookings. So my interest ni tuende pale chini. Just besides the yellow icon yenye iko hapo katikati, kuna the word wallet. So that is where I come to, the word wallet. So once I touch on the word wallet, inaniletea a number of things. The first thing it shows me is the Tcash balance. Hii Tcash balance ni balance ya yenye niko nayo kwa Tcash, kwa Tcash. So that means the amount I've sold and I've been paid by either the external wallet or the Soko QR code. So my balance is zero. I just withdrew all my money. Then below that, there is the pay later. So zile pesa zote utakuwa umepeana on pay later, items zote utakuwa unapeana on pay later, from that specific shop zitakuwa zinaapia hapa. There is something I just want you to know. Once I touch on this pay later, unaona inaniambia that I'm owed 0 shillings. It means hakuna item nimepeana on credit. Why is it so? The app right now is not allowing you to sell on pay later because it has not learned the spending habits or the selling habits of the people who have the app so far. It needs up to 6 months to do so. So that means in the next 4 months, the app will start giving out pay later options to both customers and consumers. So something very interesting hapa that I would want you to understand as a consumer ni that once you give something on pay later, kitambo imekuwa ni una agree na mtu na una record kwa kitabu. Most businesses, mine too, has a black book. Kwa hiyo black book kuna kuanga na pen hapo katikati. So mtu nikimpea kitu na credit huwa anaandika jina yake and of course the amount. So for example, Joseph 5,000, Ali 2,000. So hao watu then nitaanza kuwadai based on when we agreed. Sometimes they fail and sometimes they just vanish and never visit our shops again. I don't know whether you have experienced that, but I have experienced that in my few years of business experience. I've had over 6 years of business experience, but not once, not twice. Nimepea mtu an item on credit na anaenda akienda kabisa. This will be a story of the past with the Tcash Soko app. Why so? Because now when I give an item on pay later, sihitaji kitabu. The app itself itakuwa inanirekodia hapa that I am owed this amount by these and these persons. Then the next thing that the app will be doing is that it will be offering something called automatic debt collection. What does automatic debt collection mean? That once nimekupea pay later na app, mimi sitakupigia simu kukudai. Remember, initially it used to be ukipea mtu an item, sasa the next thing you have to do is to keep on pushing them to do what? To pay. The app will be operating like a bank. Those of you who have had this experience, wakati uko na loan kwa bank na uko na pesa kwa bank account, ikifika siku ya kulipa loan, pesa huwa inakatwa automatically from your bank account inaenda inalipa loan. That is exactly what will be happening. Kama mtu amechukua an item on pay later from your shop, using the Tcash Soko app, then as soon as atakuwa na pesa kwa Tcash yake na siku ya kulipa imefika, pesa itakuwa inakatwa kwa Tcash yake inakuja kwa Tcash yako direct. So kutakuwa na kuvurutana, like you having to call a number of times, you having to, demand this man, this person comes to your shop and brings the money or sends the money. Hakutakuwa na hiyo. Why? Because the app will be doing the debt collection for us, just like banks would do. More especially, banks wanapenda kupea watu salaried loans kabisa. I don't know how many people have ever noted that. If you have a salaried relative, you know what I'm talking about. Ya kwamba mtu wako na salary, more especially ya watu wameemployiwa na gava, wanapewa loan sana na bank. Why do banks like giving them salaries? Because wanajua mshahara ikiingia itakata tu. So hawatabishana na huyu mtu ati atalipa lini, hatalipa, no. Inakata tu. So that is exactly what will be happening. Once you have given a person an item on pay later basis hapa kwa app, then automatic debt collection will always apply, so long as siku yake ya kulipa imefika na akona pesa kwa Tcash, itakuwa inakatwa kwa Tcash yake inakuja kwa Tcash yako. Imagine that. Imagine now you will be offering pay later ukiwa so comfortable knowing that you will not suffer collecting the debt, because that is one thing that we have always suffered as business people. The next thing I would want to mention about this pay later, well, still on this page, is the fact that you stand a chance to earn more with pay later. But how do you earn more with pay later? How do you earn more with pay later? Of course, allow me to mention this, that hii feature itakuwa inakuja na inakuallow wewe kama mwenye biashara kupeana that item at a certain interest percentage in terms of interest. Okay, this is what happens ukienda kwa bank. Ukienda kwa bank and you want a loan of say 100,000, wanakukalculatea na percentage yenye iko ya interest. For example, 100,000 they can give you at the current maybe 12 to 18% depending on your credit history. So wakikupea for example na kitu kama 12%, na wamekupea something like say 100,000, wamekupea 12%, utalipa ikiwa 112,000. So bank itakuwa imemake a profit of 12,000. The same will apply. Tumekuwa tukisafa kama business people. Unapea mtu an item, anakulipa after 4 months. Of course, were you to have this item and sell it on cash basis, hiyo pesa ingekuwa imeendea another stock, of course, na umeuza, na umeendea another stock, na umeuza. So that means that this money would have been making more money for you. Why am I bringing up that issue? Now bring out that issue so that we understand the kind of suffering we have had as business people. Tumekuwa tukilon watu, unampatia mtu an item, just like, when you give something on credit basis, ni kama umeipeana on loan. So tumekuwa tukipeana loans, free loans, people don't pay interest. With pay later, people will be paying interest. So you're the one to fix the interest. Useme, nikikupea kitu ya 100, utakuwa unalipa na 10%. So that means mtu akichukua kitu ya 10 ya 100 shillings, atakuwa anakulipa 110. Okay, so that shows you that you earn more. So your money will not be going out there na haikugenerate pesa. You will now be behaving like the bank. Why? Because you have the product, because you offer the services. Once you offer this service and this person doesn't have money, they are paying later, then it's okay. They will pay later, but pay at an interest. And that interest will mean that you have earned more than you could have earned for the same service on cash basis. So what have we learned in this session? We have learned that the Tcash Soko app is coming to us with a bundle of advantages. One of them is it is coming to remove the black books for the credit and pay later activities we have had in our shops away and replacing this with an online data file on the Tcash Soko app that keeps the record for all my debts. As if that is not enough, we have learned that Tcash will be allowing us to give items on credit in a smart way. Why? Because it will be having information about our customers. And because it has information about our customers, it will be putting them on certain credit levels. And we will therefore be in a position to, of course, give items on credit to our customers based on their credit levels or their ability to pay us for the items and services we give on credit. Because, truth be told, we have suffered bad debts in the past. Okay, another suffering that the Tcash Soko app through the Pay Later is trying to remove for all the business people is the suffering of having to call people to pay you back. Customers are very good when they are coming to seek or to take something on pay later basis from our shops. They'll come with so many stories, with so many exciting information and so on. And we are compelled to give them. But when we give them our products, inakonga difficult sana. I don't know whether it's just my experience, but I know it is also your experience. That unapata kukulipa inakuwa ni ngumu. You have to keep on calling. You will not be calling with Tcash. Why? Because Tcash will be having what we refer to as automatic debt collection. The automatic debt collection will mean that so long as mliagree na kulipa in 7 days on the app, 7 days zikipita, Tcash balance yake, pesa konayo kwa Tcash balance yake inakatwa, inakuja kwa Tcash balance yako, and you're paid automatically. Just like a bank would pay its loan automatically from the account, the loanee's account. That is how it will be operating. Then, of course, we have learned that we stand a chance to earn more with Pay Later. And how do we earn more with Pay Later? We earn more with Pay Later by, of course, setting some interest, setting some interest on the items that you're giving on Pay Later, because items zenye tunapeana on Pay Later ni kama tu zime cost pesa. Hata kama ni services ulioffer on Pay Later, your service ilikuchukua time, and time is money. So of course, when you do this, when you give something on Pay Later basis, like you're giving money out, this money ought to generate some interest for you. And this interest makes you earn more for the same product or for the same service. And of course, as if that is not enough, we have also learned that our customers have to spend, have to have a habit of spending for them to build their credit scores. So this brings us to the end of the session and more with Pay Later. It is my hope that you have understood how Pay Later will be operating as soon as the 6 months are over. So for you to start offering items on credit on Pay Later basis, it's still something that is not happening now, but something that will happen after a number of months. Why so? Because the AI needs to have information about the spending habits of people before it puts them on the various credit scores. And this brings us to the end of our session today. In case you have any question on how you can earn more with Pay Later, kindly feel free to get back to me via the comment section below. I'll be more than willing to respond to your questions. Thank you and have a great evening. See you in our next 3 sessions tomorrow. Bye-bye.